Hometown dates were last night. We were so excited, waiting for this episode, and did it fulfill?
It definitely did in the last half an hour, you know?
Yeah.
Dean's hometown was so compelling. I was just so sucked in. I've watched it multiple times, and I listened to every single word.
I agree. It was so compelling, his therapy session with his father. And did you feel almost a little guilty that you were witnessing this emotional moment?
A little bit.
Two family members.
A little bit, not necessarily the moment. When it dawned on me that maybe this shouldn't have been on TV was when Rachel was out with his dad by the fire, and he was like, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, and then I was like, oh, this poor man is probably like, I am being exploited right now.
Right. Why do you think he agreed to go on national television with his son, who he hasn't seen in 2 years, and like do a reality show?
I think he does love his son. And I think they don't have the best relationship, but I feel like that was a gesture of love. Especially especially after all this time where, you know, there's been a lot of friction.
And it was just completely emotional, talking about when the mother passed and how Dean remembered.
The flower, I keep saying that, the feather that the dad gave Rachel and Dean to represent the mom was so touching. It was really beautiful.
It was. And clearly the father was extremely affected by the mother's passing. But what happens often is, especially with men, is they they feel that they can't talk about their emotions. And
the withdrawal process for him was way intense. I think that if this was actually off camera, he wouldn't have been encouraged to talk to his dad about such a sensitive subject. You know, he's been like this for over 10 years now. So, and he's apparently never had this conversation where he was like, Dad, I feel abandoned. Like, you weren't there for me. You didn't like serve as that maternal role that I really needed you to take over. And I think that if it weren't for the show, Dean may have never had that conversation with his dad.
I completely agree. And while he may have initially regretted it, hopefully he doesn't now, because that was extremely brave, and maybe they repaired the relationship because of The Bachelorette. We always talk about the tease for next week, and I think what really stood out to me is that her family is truly questioning all three of her choices, and that doesn't surprise me because of how strong-willed Rachel is.
The super tease kind of sucked compared to last week, or the scenes from the next episode, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we got that much out of it to really dissect.
No, we didn't. So next week, apparently they go to Dallas early before Spain because her sister was extremely pregnant.
Did they say that, or did you find that out?
No, I read that.
I read that too.
Yeah. So they usually take the family to the location, which would have been Spain, but all three men get to go to Dallas, which I'm okay with. It'll be nice to see in her environment instead of Spain, which would be so random, but they do it.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Ciao, see you next week.